Hey friends, I don't cover foreign politics and I'm not going to start now, but I will give you the how did we get here with the Brazil situation because it has ties to American politics. Lula was president of Brazil from 2003 to 2010. He's a leftist and he was very popular. He served his 2 terms and he wasn't allowed to run for election again. A decade passed and in 2019, Bolsonaro was elected president. Bolsonaro started his campaign as a social Christian in 2019, but it didn't go so good. So he switched and started running as a social liberal. He got elected, but after he got elected, he started putting in really conservative policies. He dropped the facade of being a liberal and officially joined the Conservative Party. Often called the Trump of the tropics, he was super close with Trump. It was not a secret that he was very close with President Trump. While he was popular with Trump, he wasn't terribly popular back home. And he is the first president to not win re-election in all of Brazil's history. But let's just jump back a little bit to before he lost. It was clear his campaign was not going so well. It was a very tight race between he and the former President Lula. So he called up his old pal Trump and said, "I'm kind of losing, what do I do?" And so Trump and Steve Bannon and some other Trump allies jumped in to use the exact same playbook they used for their campaign in Brazil, including making his slogan Brazil first and make Brazil great again. And again, this was heavily publicized. This isn't a scandal. It's not like some big secret. Trump even said he was happy to have helped Bolsonaro. But ultimately, Bolsonaro lost. So now what does he do? Continues to use the Trump playbook to dispute the results of the election, claim that the news media is fake and biased, claim that the election was rigged. But in Brazil, they were like, you can't say stuff like that. That's criminal. So in December, on the advice of his lawyers, he fled to Florida, where he's allegedly staying with UFC fighter Jose Aldo, who, fun fact, has a Minion-themed bedroom. Having abandoned his post in Brazil, the vice president of Brazil has been standing in as acting president. And then today, a group of Bolsonaro supporters broke into the Capitol, the president's mansion, the Supreme Court, and have been breaking windows, smashing stuff, looting, lighting fires, generally protesting the peaceful transfer of power. Now, none of that is going to change anything. Lula is still going to be president. There is an extradition treaty between the United States and Brazil, so technically the U.S. could go to Florida, arrest Bolsonaro, send him back to Brazil to face the consequences of his actions. But going and arresting him would take some approval from the governor of Florida, at least at this point. Bolsonaro wasn't just a conservative or right-wing. He was advocating for military dictatorship. And the people of Brazil said no. So that's how we got here. That's why people are comparing it to January 6th. They're saying that Trump is involved. We'll keep you updated as this relates to American politics. There are better people telling the first-person story in Brazil.